When the world didn't want me and made me feel small, all I am is broken inside. Some echo identity who can't find his shadow always hurts mentally. All right, so we're going to be breaking down the lyrics for Infamous, and this song hits pretty deep. It goes back to middle school for me because I was picked on and made fun of when I started doing YouTube content because someone found my channel. I think I might have shared a video through Facebook, and I think because of that, I've written this song, and it's been a constant battle to deal with for Infamous, and I just want to dive into the lyrics, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, verse 1, I'm chasing these old memories because I don't know where I fit in. Chasing these old memories because I don't know where I fit in. That, again, goes back to middle school times, goes back to that time where I really didn't know what was going on. I was kind of figuring myself out, and I'm just kind of chasing these old memories of when, when I was starting out, when I was doing stuff on YouTube. Because I don't know where I fit in. Because I think back in middle school, you're kind of figuring yourself out. You're figuring out where you fit in with other people. And I mean, like, you look at like elementary school, like everyone's figuring everything out. Everyone's learning their place in the world in those tiny classrooms. And then you get to middle school, everyone's kind of figured stuff out, but they're still learning where they fit in the world. But then you get to high school and it's like, oh, everyone kind of knows their cliques. They know what they like. They know what they dislike. So that's where they're going to be. But yeah, that's what those lines reference to, going back to middle school, just chasing these old memories of like when I was starting out. So, and then I'm running from the normalities because I believe in the difference. I love that line. Like, I'm running from normal because I believe in the different. Because, a lot of people just aren't normal. If you're normal, you're not normal. I don't believe normal people exist. But in this case, I'm running from the normalities because I believe in the difference. I believed at the time in middle school, no one else, I mean, there were people doing YouTube, right? But like in my middle school, specifically in that middle school, no one else was doing YouTube. Because I was the only one doing it, everyone picked on me for it when they found out that I was doing YouTube because I had a face cam. And I ended up getting rid of that. I think I was playing like Halo 4, I think, doing a recording of it, and everyone kind of found me through there. Ended up getting rid of the face cam like on like the 5th episode or something, and it was a wild time. But yeah, I'm running from the normalities because I believe in the difference. Because at the time, I believed in what I was doing. I still do believe in what I'm doing, and it's a wild thing that people just picked on me for being different. And that's kind of where bullying fits in middle school. I think that's why people get bullied, or why bullies exist. It's because I hate people who are different. And if you're different, if you're not like them, they're going to bully you. And that's unfortunate. Like, dude, if I could go back and tell my younger self, hey, these guys are idiots, don't listen to them, I would. But yeah, that was middle school at the time. Normal people don't like different people, and that's kind of why I wrote that line. It's like, I'm running from those normalities because I believe in the difference. I believe in being different. I believe in chasing what makes you happy and chasing what you believe in. Makes sense. So that's verse 1. Moving on to the pre-chorus. But then it's like, never told you how to live, didn't tell you how to die, only told you how to think or how to get by. So this whole pre-chorus is kind of like the progress of like schooling. And that's the whole reason I wrote this pre-chorus, because this whole song dates back to like when I was younger, when I was growing up. So, but then it's like, never told you how to live, elementary school, didn't tell you how to die, middle school, and then only told you how to think, high school. These are the feelings I felt when I was in those different schooling systems. So like elementary school never told you how to live. The whole process of elementary school is like, you're just learning how to do math, and you're learning how to do like, basic writing. You're learning how to do the basics. Never told you how to live. Didn't tell you how to die. A lot of people in middle school do like, it kind of goes with high school as well, but like, a lot of people start to get depressed because of people bullying them and all that sort of stuff. People self-harm in middle school. That's another thing. Middle school is probably the worst type of schooling, and it's kind of where you feel like death most of the time. But then moving on to this line, only told you how to think. High school is a lot of like, it's not politics, but it's like people tell you how things are and how the world works. So they only tell you how to think. They make you smarter in high school. High school is like, that's where your peak intelligence starts to kind of grow and nurture, and you don't really fully nurture that until you're out of high school. But that's, that's the whole thing. And then part of high school is also telling you how to get by, because in high school they only tell you how to think and how to get by. They don't tell you how the rest of the world works, because that's on your own to figure out. And then the pre-course kind of goes into the course here with, and when I say, let's get into the course here. One day you'll all see who I'm really meant to be. I won't give up this fight until I set this right. So back in middle school, I kind of vowed in my head that no matter if I get bullied for continuing to put out content, I'm going to keep doing it. And in my head, I was like, one day you'll all see who I'm really meant to be, because I still believe that I am destined to make it as a content creator. I think that's where my path is. That's where I think it's set in. And as long as I keep doing it, I'm not going to give up, and then that's the other line here. I won't give up this fight until I set this right, because I want to prove everyone wrong. And I think that's kind of what everyone wants to do when they get bullied for something they're interested in, is they want to prove everyone wrong. Like, hey, I can do this, and I will do it. And that was kind of my goal in middle school, was I really want this to happen. I really want to succeed, but not succeed too much. This is the kind of the whole point of Infamous, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but going into the next few lines here, I'm not some failure looking for justice. I just want to be anything but infamous. So the whole point of this song is, back in middle school, I had this fear, and I still have this fear of too much success or too much failure. So I wanted to find a middle ground where, like, I could make this a job or career, but not like be too much on the success chart and too much of a failure on the failure chart. That's why I said I'm not some failure looking for justice. I just want to be anything but infamous. I just want to be in this middle ground of, I'm making it, but I'm not over-making it, or I'm not under-making it, if that makes sense. I want like content creation to be this thing I can have that I do well with, but also have something on the side that, like, I can still, make enough to afford things, and that's the whole purpose of the song, is basically to say, like, I would like there to be something of value here, but I don't want to overvalue it or undervalue it. That is the whole point of Infamous, is I want to feel like I'm something, but not, not something, if that makes sense. I think it makes sense. It makes sense to me, but that's the whole point of the song, is expressing my fear of success and failure, essentially. So moving on from this to the verse 2, staring at the sunrise makes me miss the good times. Looking away from the sunset just makes me regret every moment that passed me by. So staring at the sunrise makes me miss the good times. So, like, right before, like, when I would go to high school and take the bus, I'd have to get up at, like, I think 6 a.m. or something like that, or 5:30 a.m. Somewhere, I think it was 6. I'm pretty sure it was 6 a.m. But I would walk over to the bus stop because I knew where it was. And, waiting for the bus stop, the sunrise would come up over, like, the grassy hills, and, dude, it like, looking at the sunrise just started to make me miss the good times of, like, when things were, like, I don't know, the good moments of my life, even though I was, like, what, 15 or 16 at the time, however old I was, when I started high school. I think it was 15, but, yeah, staring at the sunrise made me just miss the good times. And then looking away from the sunset just makes me regret every moment passing by. So, like, at the end of the day, looking at a sunset, it just kind of makes me regret every moment that has passed me by, like every opportunity I've had to do something, or every opportunity that, like, I've missed out on. Just moments in my life where I feel like I could have done more, So that's what this verse is about. It's basically, like, nostalgic, like, moments in my life, I guess, if that makes sense. But pre-chorus is a little bit is the same. So I don't know why it did like this. Interesting. But yeah, a little bit the same, but I've changed up the lyrics a little bit. Moving on from the pre-chorus, goes back into the chorus. Chorus does not change throughout this entire song. Sometimes I switch it up. For Infamous, I kind of just left it the same because I wanted the message to get across, you know, how it's been across. But yeah, moving on from the chorus to the bridge. I'd burn it to the ground if it goes up in flames. I wouldn't take those risks just for the glory and the fame. So I'd burn it. So if everything, if content creation for me as a whole started to become nothing, I would help it burn to the ground if it already was going up in flames. So like if it was already failing, I'd help it fail even more. You know, I wouldn't, like, again, too much failure. I'd still, you know, if it is burning, I would help it burn, you know, because it's mine, it's my own. I don't want it to burn, you know. I guess, like, I don't want it to burn on, I want it to burn on my terms. I don't want it to burn on someone else's terms, if that makes sense, you know. And then I wouldn't take those risks just for the glory and the fame, because a lot of people take risks when they try to go for fame and fortune and glory, kind of like view botting. Like a lot of people on Twitch, they view bot. We talked about that, and people just take risks to make it on Twitch, which is insane. And I wouldn't take those risks just for the glory and fame. I'd just be me. I wouldn't, you know, stream for. I wouldn't ponder to certain viewers, right? I would just do what I do best, do my own stuff. Like, I would continue the content that I currently do. I wouldn't just go to stream Fortnite just for, you know, a couple clicks, because that's not what I want to do. Then moving on to the next line here, I've spent years holding grudges against those who never believed in me. Picked on and bullied for months on end with no apology. So again, this goes back to middle school and high school. I didn't really get bullied that much because I had my group of friends, and that kept me going through the years. But middle school, like, I still, like, I don't think I hold those grudges anymore. But the point of the song being, like, I spent years holding grudges against those who never believed in me. So the people who constantly bullied me for doing what I do, like, I spent years holding grudges, and now I don't really do that anymore. But if I ever saw those people in real life, I'd probably question them, like, why'd you bully me all those years ago, you know? Just to, like, you know, poke some fun at them, because I think those people were just, like, again, they didn't like people who were different, you know? And yeah, picked on and bullied for months on end with no apology. And I never got a sorry for the people that bullied me, because they were just rude. They were just rude kids. And I made this, this is a little, like, fun fact. I actually made a really good decision, because there were two different high schools that I could have gone to. They were, I won't name them, but there were two high schools where I think everyone who bullied me were going to. And in my head, I was immediately like, well, I'm going to go to a high school that I will not get bullied at, and that's what I ended up doing. I picked, like, an alternative school that worked out really well for me, so that was really cool. But yeah, and the next line here, but I lived through it all, the pain and anger, I'll make it one day to prove everyone wrong, forged for misery. So, but I lived through it all, pain and anger, I lived through all that. Despite, you know, being bullied and all this sort of stuff, I lived through all of it, and I still create content to this day. And then I'll make it one day to prove everyone wrong, because I do want to do that. I want to prove everyone wrong. I want to be like, hey, look, this thing you bullied me for, I make money from it now, or I've just made it. You know, that's what I want to do one day. You know, and I'll make it one day to just to prove everyone wrong. And the last line here, forged from misery, just the forge from the bad times in middle school, to be like, hey, this stuff in middle school doesn't matter anymore, because I've been forged from it. You know, I've been forged from misery into a new person entirely. And yeah, that's the bridge. And then pre-choruses, again, same, a little bit the same, just shortened, I think. And then chorus is completely the same. So yeah, this song just is about conquering my fear of success and failure, finding that middle ground of being content with the work I'm doing on, you know, my computer, and trying to be as successful as I can, but not too much of success, and, you know, trying not to fail too much. You know, that's kind of my goal, is to find this middle ground, and hopefully one day I'll find it. So if you want to listen,